Inhuman picks up introducing the new humans. It starts off following various new humans as they are sort of transformed in the Terrigen mist. It also focuses on Lash and his following. He's not really a fan, so it focuses on that, and then as you go through the various different issues, you are introduced to more and more of the new humans. Something that happens quite early on is Attilan. So we hope it's being pronounced. We're not entirely sure.
Attilan or Attila?
Attila. If anyone thinks they know, please let us know. The politics of where this should be, and also where all these new humans should be. Should they be heading to Attilan? Is that their rightful place, or should they be elsewhere? And should Attilan be sort of resting in the Bay of New York as it currently is? And the implications of that. I'm happy with that. It sounded awkward as hell, but I'm happy with it.
Well, the rise of the new Inhumans. Do you like the new characters?
I think so, yeah. They're not
fleshed out the best.
No, there's not. But then I think you have to take into account the fact that it only collects sort of 6 issues.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. I don't think it actually has time to flesh them out that much. Particularly as well when you've got more established characters already there. Sort of, you've already got Medusa. Captain America's introduced quite early on. So when you've got sort of characters whose background story you know, or you know a little bit of, the ones you don't know do feel slightly weak in comparison.
Yeah, I imagine the problem is also that they've got actual plot line to move forward.
It's a little bit like the Civil War of the Inhuman population.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way, but yeah.
It kind of, they sort of split off, but it comes to a head and it's resolved very, very quickly. Lash is sort of killing off the new humans, or he's taking them to this other place, but is found out quite quickly and is defeated by Medusa, and then all of the new humans come to live.
Yeah, I must say I am quite enjoying the amount of Medusa, because in other Inhuman books she's sort of like a side character. It's normally like, it's Black Bolt, but it's very much the Medusa show and Medusa holding together the Inhuman society, and I really enjoyed that. And Black Bolt's not even in this book. I think he's in like maybe 4 panels in the whole thing.
It does focus a lot more on her, particularly as you work towards the end as well.
Yeah.
When you have the Unknown returning. He was the former king before Black Bolt, and he wants to regain his crown, as it were. So it is sort of the political power play, and then the actual physical power play between Medusa and him is quite good.
Yeah, it's quite hard to summarise comics because we're not actually getting a full story. This isn't a beginning, a middle, of end. This is literally one tiny chunk of a massive saga.
But I think it is quite good because, as somebody who hasn't ever read Inhumans, it is quite a good introduction to getting you up to speed. It tells you enough. There's nothing sort of that you're sitting there going, I've got no idea what's going on. You're always sort of aware of something else that's going on, which I think
that's just Charles Soule, because he writes a lot of great books. He wrote She-Hulk.
Oh, didn't know. If there's something that you don't need to know, he doesn't bother chucking it in for the sake of chucking it in.
What did you think of the actual way that the new Inhumans arrive? Like the actual cocoons. Did you like that, or did you think it's just disturbing?
No, I'm a big fan of gooey cocoons. There's something quite butterfly about them. No, I quite liked the way they're introduced.
Because that's one of the few like kind of dark things that I really like about this. There is literally a sequence where one of the characters is transformed. He's the only person from a group of people who actually survives the cocoon. So all these other people who have Inhuman DNA but don't have a strong enough strain of Inhuman DNA all die in their cocoons. I actually thought that was quite dark for a Marvel comic.
I think it has got some sort of slightly darker aspects to it. There's some particularly good bits when sort of you do get the sense that a lot of the new humans are leaving the rest of their family behind. There's a lot of separation.
I quite like Naja. I think she's the weird like lizardy one that can like camouflage and fly and stuff.
Yeah, she was quite cool. I quite liked Inferno, I have to say. I quite like the fact that he's Dante and then he becomes Inferno.
Yeah,
I love a good literature pun. Can't go wrong, can you? Dante transforms, and the sister, nothing happens to her. Potentially the baby could be a new human. So it does deal quite a lot with the whole idea of family and separation. I think that's quite good.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of talk about other Inhumans who like seem to just like up and leave their family, so it's quite nice of them to actually keep family elements, to showing that it's not clean cut. These people still very much love and care for their own families.
Yeah.
Even though half of them seem to just die from the actual not surviving the cocoons, which is really sad.
I think it's quite interesting is that it establishes very early on this idea of whether the new humans should truly be accepted as inhuman. In terms of artwork,
it's a very odd style, I'll say that. I mean, it's very cinematic, but it's very odd. Because it feels quite often like the proportions aren't right.
I don't didn't mind the artwork. I admit I wasn't a huge fan, but that was more. It wasn't so much the actual artwork itself. It was more the paneling. Sort of, there are certain panels which are quite sort of large when maybe they shouldn't be large.
Yeah.
There are certain panels that I felt could sort of do with being sort of like smaller, more intimate. I think the problem is the new humans are too human looking for me. Unfortunately, most of these are probably written for the potential of being done on screen, and actually it's an awful lot easier to transfer somebody who looks a bit human.
Well, did you know
screen.
Did you know the story behind how Naja got created?
No.
Which is that Charles Soule didn't actually seem to write many Inhumans with physical changes. Naja is only in here because one of the artists literally sketched out a character they wanted to put in the book, and Charles Soule's like, yeah, okay.
I think it does sort of focus more on them as more sort of human looking than you would expect new humans to be. The artwork and the dialogue, it is very Marvel.
Yeah.
Which it sounds, I don't mean that to sound derogatory, which I think...
You can definitely tell the dialogue from a Marvel book from an indie book.
Yeah, and also because it is very sort of... It's not a stylised graphic novel. It's not like Daredevil.
By Bendis and Malieve, yeah.
Yes, it's got some slightly more stylised panels in it.
It seems to be a theme with Marvel now, which is that, bigger text, less interesting stuff going on with the art. It seems like everything's very passable rather than shining. I can't think of many Marvel Now books that really shine with art.
Plot over artwork, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
You read it for that rather than because it's very good artwork, like it's very nice, but it's not something completely different. It's not something you've not seen before. I would definitely read the rest of the series, yeah, but I'd probably read it more for the plot.
Please like and subscribe to this video if you'd like to see more. We are uploading videos throughout the weekday and possibly at the weekends as well. And please tune in again for another video.
Inhumans starts...
Inhuman.
Bugger, every time. In the Terrigen Mist.
Terrigen.
I'm going to keep calling it Tarragon every time.